Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we're talking about HCMC, and I'm giving you today more of an overview about this one and any updates that might have happened since my last video. Let's jump right into this one. So I made a few videos on this. If you would like to watch my previous one, you'll find it in the description below. Again, this is not an indication for you to go ahead and buy. It's for you to make your own decision. So I'm going to go through all the facts and information that are more recent, and then it is up to you to decide what to do with it. So HCMC, one of the latest things that we have already known about it is their intellectual property holdings company. And I'll go through the lawsuit in a minute. But really, Healthy Choices has three main operations. HCMC Intellectual Property, where it holds patents and intellectual properties. HCM, Healthy Choice Markets, which is an 18,000 square foot full service grocery store serving in Fort Myers, Florida, and 3 Paradise Health and Nutrition locations in the greater Melbourne, Florida area, serving all respective local communities. And then you have the vape stores, which is 8 different vape stores across the southern United States. The vape stores has a clear foothold in the still ever growing e-cigarette vaping market. So that kind of gives you a bit of perspective into what their operations are. Now, in terms of the intellectual property, there is currently a lawsuit between them and Philip Morris. If you haven't heard about Philip Morris, check them out. They're a massive company, and the basic part of it is that they're infringing on a patent regarding e-cigarettes itself, and it is currently in the courts. So the latest thing that we have from them in terms of updates is the joint motion to stay pending resolution of defendant motions to dismiss by Healthy Choices Management Corp, and as well the one afterwards, order granting motion to stay all deadlines for 30 days pending the resolution of the defendant's motion to dismiss signed by the judge. So we still have around 30 days from there. Still, things are in the court, and if you were to watch, I think 3 or 4 videos back, I did talk about the process itself, how long usually the process goes, and settlements. So I think from everything we're seeing, probably a settlement is in the due. Now, quick thing, we don't know what the settlement would actually entail. Are the stockholders going to take that money? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe going on towards their capital. Maybe it goes towards their balance sheet, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But before moving they do have a new website. It's called thevitaminstore.com, and in that they do sell vitamins. But anyway, HCMC will be offering a select national brands and the first time online ADA's high quality brand of vitamins and supplements, previously sold only in ADA's natural market, the company's organic grocery store located in Fort Myers, Florida. Management has recognized and is grateful for both national attention that HCMC has received over the past several months and for the very vocal support of its shareholder base, which is now over 306,000 shareholders strong. This has provided the company with the perfect opportunity to relaunch off the HCMC's thevitaminstore.com, as well as the opportunity to offer our ADA's brand of high quality vitamins and supplements to a national audience, said Jeff Holman, the CEO. Now, Mr. Holman continued, our shareholders have repeatedly expressed their desire to support their investments in HCMC directly by also becoming customers. With our stabilized or sizable shareholder base, as a potential new, highly motivated and incentivized customer, we're extremely encouraged by the growth potential from its online store. Unlike a stock market investment in a high-ticket item based on a company, such as a car company, collectively, our shareholders have the power to make a real difference with the power of their individual purchasing habit. This is a rare opportunity for shareholders to work hand in hand with management to build the national brand while increasing the shareholder value through increasing company revenue. And it's clear, they want you to go ahead and spend your money in that store. But anyway, this is the vitaminstore.com. It sells vitamins, shocker. But in that sense, it looks like the management's point of view is seeing their shareholders engaged, and they're relaunching this entire website, asking you, go ahead, spend all your money in there to make sure we cover our net negative revenue. And for that, we need to look into their revenues, right? So some of the revenue highlights before we move on towards the balance sheet. Fourth quarter and full year fiscal 2020 results and recent highlights. You have net sales from continued operation by the end of the year amounted to $13.9 million compared to $15.1 million during the same season last year. Remember, this is 2020. It's a pandemic year. Gross profit from continued operations decreased by $0.7 million for the year, resulting in a year-end ended amount of $5.8 million compared to $6.5 million in the same period last year. Operating expenses as a percentage of sales has decreased by 16% in the fourth quarter versus year over year. For the year ended in December 31st, 2020, operating expenses as a percentage of sales decreased 6%, reflecting continued reduction of corporate administrative expenses. That's a good thing. Now, another thing is the adjusted EBITDA for the 12 months ended 2020 improved approximately $0.5 million compared to the previous year. So we get a bit of information there, but we actually need to see numbers, right? And some of the numbers are here before we go on and compare the previous quarter per quarter. So 3 months ended, their total loss from operations in 2020 is around $911,000. So that's not a lot. I've seen millions, but again, it's an OTC, right? In comparison, in the 12 months ended in 2020 compared to 2019, you're looking at 3.7 million loss in 2020 compared to 2.8 million in 2019. Although 2020 December quarter 4 compared to 2019 December quarter 4, you're looking into a difference of around 1.2, 1.3 million. Now, what's the big difference, you might ask? Well, let's take a look at it. Gross profits remain somewhat around the same. Total operating expenses has actually decreased. However, total other expenses were different, or income. And so that is mainly pertaining to other things like stock compensations, etc. So moving on, the current total assets, you're looking at $11.8 million compared to $14 million year over year. Other liabilities, you're looking at almost $4 million in other liabilities, including a total liability cost of around $9 million. So their total assets has decreased and their total liabilities has increased. Not a good sign overall. However, we are looking into their growth potential. So let's take a look into the quarter revenues. So in terms of the quarters, revenues seem to be somewhat stable. And we'll look into year over year in a second. And in terms of the net EBITDA, or we don't have that, but we have the EBIT, and we're able to see that it's somewhat stable around negative 794,000. Now, granted, in the last quarter, things has been a little bit different. That is mainly to, as we saw in the just previous SEC filing. So we're going to look into an annual revenue basis. Annual revenue basis, it's stable somewhere around $15 million year over year, 13, 15, somewhere around that range. Total expenses are also matching there around $16 to $19 million. EBIT, it seems to be hovering somewhere around, I would say, $3 to $5 million in loss. EBITDA, as expected from the other SEC filing, this one here, you're looking somewhere around 3 million to 2 million loss. So we have a bit of an idea there. We can move on now towards technical analysis. If you like what you're seeing here and you would like to see more of these videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn notifications on for this channel. If you'd like to join our Discord server, it's totally free. It's in the description below. There's no commitments, and let's jump right into technical analysis. Now, on the technical analysis point of view, we can go ahead and go through technical analysis and say this and that, but the reality is volumes have been dying a little bit as well. And so a quick look into this, what we see is the 10 SMA is above 30 EMA here. Things are looking somewhat still bullish in that trading action zone phase. However, momentum is almost flat, around 0. MACD is almost flat. ADX is lower than 20, and it's highly oversold, around 100. So the quick thing that we can deduce onto this one here is that that motion of massive pump right now is more off back to where it was dead. But currently, you can also say it might be actually an accumulation zone. So for that, we need to look a little bit into volumes. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow both are showing that there's not a lot going on here. I mean, there is a bit of a movement here, green candle once in since forever, but it's not a strong movement, and volumes have died significantly from what we've seen previously here. It's back towards very slow volume, very low volume. Currently, in terms of Fibonacci retracements, you're seeing a significant resistance at the 0.002 level. Following that, the 0.003 or sorry, 0.0025, not 3, 0.0032, 0.004, and up to 0.005, and then up to 0.007. When it comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? It's definitely an interesting play. Now, in terms of the proceeds of that lawsuit, it's one of a couple of things that can happen. But the most likely one is probably going to be a settlement. Now, the question is that settlement going to go towards a special dividend? We've seen that they have high total liabilities, so they're more off to pay off their debt, depending on how much that settlement is. Well, most likely the board of directors, etc., they're paying off their debts, keeping some money in their pockets, and we might get back the pennies back on the dollar. Now, keep in mind, the outstanding shares for this one is quite massive. You're looking at in billions. I know there has been a reduction for around 2 billion shares, but come on, that's nothing. It's in billions, in hundreds of billions in terms of outstanding shares. So even if you're looking at it, is it going to be 0.0001 cents? The odds here are not in our favor, but for some people, for shareholders here, really trust in this one and believe in this one. So for you, I salute you and keep strong. Have a wonderful day.